Hey everybody, it's Zach again for another faction peek review, if you will, where we like to sort of review what we think the faction is looking like in the lead up to 4th Ed, but also sometimes just talk about the nature of the preview itself. Now today I'm joined not by Saray, but by our very own Steven. Steven, welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Steven, our resident Bonereapers player. And today's faction, of course, is the Bonereapers. Now, one thing we like to do in these faction reviews with Steven is, Steven likes to do this, and we've decided we like it too. Is when he doesn't look in advance at all at this. Um, so, I have looked at this, and I think I've pretty much processed it. I'm mostly familiar with the current Bonereapers book. There was a minute quite a while ago where I was starting the army up for back when I was at Titan Studio to have it there. Then kind of realized Steven has this army, so we have it. I learned a lot about it, but I've also just learned a lot by playing Steven's Bonereapers. So we have some pretty good context here. We don't need Saray, our 3rd Ed Wahapedia checker today. So we're going to go ahead and kind of jump in and talk about the changes right away. Steven, let me ask you this. Since we have not even jumped in yet, what are you expecting to see? Let's get some like right before Steven expectations. What are you thinking is going to happen?
I've thought about this since they announced there was going to be a big reset. I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like the fear in me, the anxiety is Bone Reapers are going to pay for the sins of their past, and they're
Yeah.
going to be like the Slanesh. Because you weren't playing, but Slanesh in
No.
2nd edition destroyed everyone, and it was painful and miserable, and they got punished for it.
Yeah.
They were beaten around, and their first book and 3rd was terrible. Like they got really treated poorly. It course corrected when they did their big range refresh, but like that first book, oh man, they've got punished so hard. So I'm scared that that might happen to Bone Reapers. I'm going to assume that we're going to lose Relentless Discipline as it exists, because I think they're reducing the amount of bookkeeping, they're reducing the amount of faction rules everyone has. So for me, the whole notion that this army has a unique command point system feels like it doesn't work with what they're wanting to do anymore.
Right.
So I've always kind of been on the fence of like, well, I guess they're just going to get rid of Relentless Discipline and redo it in some way that I don't even know. Like I'm like, they're gonna have to completely retool the faction from the ground up, because I think. But then they kept the tides, so now I'm like, well, they kept the tides, and that was also in that realm of like
Right.
weird, unique rules. Because like,
Yeah.
I think everyone agrees that the Bone Reapers just having a million command points and a million amazing command abilities was a bit good,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yep.
And they couldn't really balance them points wise because they made them too expensive and then no one took things, and they just found the cheapest, most efficient thing and took that instead.
Right.
Because you've always got this suite of command abilities that make everything good.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm expecting that I'm going to come out of this being like, well, my army is worse now than it was before, but I also don't know if that's a bad thing.
I mean, that's kind of everybody's army, right? For the most part, most people are looking at the army and saying, "Seems worse than it was before."
Yeah.
I'll say, I'm not feeling that. The only army I've looked at and not really felt that, two so far have been cities. I did not look at cities and think that this army got worse, nor did I look at Nighthaunt and think that it got
I
worse.
didn't think the Fire Slayers got worse.
I don't think Fire Slayers got worse either. What's going to remain to be seen about Fire Slayers is some of their crazy ward shenanigans. They can get up to like
Yeah.
4 ports and stuff. That seems to have gotten worse, but I think overall you're right. Fire Slayers didn't get worse either. So, and if you
Well,
think about
one thing I do want to say though is that I really hope that they make the Gothisar Harvester work like a Gothisar Harvester again, and not completely break it to the point where
one
it
way,
doesn't do anything.
one way or the other.
Yeah, I just want it to do what it says it does. I don't want it to be this weird nonsense thing that it ended up being when they nerfed it 4 different ways. Like, I just want it to do what it does.
Honestly,
I feel bad for it.
it kind of just needs like a simple like a spirit torment. It just needs to be a spirit torment. Just add 3 models back to Mortek Guard, or add 1 model back to Riders.
Yeah, and
or
maybe it gets like a buff if it kills people nearby. Or, I don't know. It just needs. It needs to feel like it does what the thing is meant to be designed
Yeah.
for. Where they reached a point in the current edition where they broke it to the point where it didn't reflect in any way what it was meant to be. It was just a dumb, cheap monster for the army.
Well, we have a
It's just
poll. We
really
have a
sad.
poll up, as we always do, and today's poll is very thematic, like always. How long is your bone for the Bone Reapers in Fourth Ed? Are you within combat range? Are you wholly within 6 inches? Are you outside of 9 inches? Or are you anywhere on the board?
I mean, I don't care what this is. I'm always anywhere on the board for Bone Reapers.
Okay. All right. Here we go. We've got, the lore right up. The lore. We've seen little trinkets of lore like get added into these, which I've liked. I read through this. I didn't see anything that.
Oh,
Seemed
no
new.
little cheeky nods to units we don't have yet.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
They do talk about. I like how they do talk about Nagash realizing that with all the other sub factions of death, there's all of these bickering, self-obsessed, and petty ambition going on, and so that's kind of the reason for making the Bone Reapers. Is like, what if there were just people that listened to me?
Yeah. What if I
Um,
took all of the emotions out of all these people and just left them with the raw combat skill? What would that look like?
yeah. Here we go. Let's jump in. Relentless discipline, no surprise, has been um, the poll. Saray, don't lie on the poll. You're skewed. Nick, also, my wife says a 3-inch pilot is more than enough.
That's an amazing
just really,
comment.
just really depends how you use it.
Sometimes all you need is a 3-inch pilot.
You just need to use
get
it
the
right.
job
Yeah,
done.
that's it. If you've got the right tool, it doesn't need to be that big. Okay. Okay. All right. Relentless discipline has been redone, and quite frankly, it's just 6 abilities, and that is the Bone Reaper's battle traits. That's it. They have 6 relentless discipline.
If no friendly units have used a relentless ability this phase, pick a Bone Reaper unit, pick a Bone Reaper hero. All friendly Bone Reapers units holding within 12-inch heroes are the targets. Add
Yep.
2-inch to the move. So that took a 1-inch nerf.
Yeah.
I like that these also have to come from heroes because now obviously everyone's command abilities don't have any restrictions. Units can use them. Anyone can use them wherever they are.
Yep.
These are still tied to the heroes, which makes sense because it's meant to be the generals giving the commands.
Yeah.
Reform ranks. So you can all do one of each of these this phase.
Yep. So
The rest of the turn, well, they're holding 12.
Yeah.
Units can use charge abilities. Okay.
Now, what's cool about these, actually, to be honest with you, and you're going to see is a pattern here, which I think they did a good job with, is that for the most part in a game of Age of Sigmar, it's quite often the case that you would want either one or the other one of these. Oftentimes, if you're in the thick of combat and you're doing your thing, you don't necessarily need extra movement anymore. There's probably something right nearby you can leave and charge. So I kind of like this. It's like the early part of the game, maybe the late part of the game for unstoppable advance. Reform ranks when you're in the thick of it when you're fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they're all free. The ranges are really short and scary, though. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that one of Catacros's abilities is he doubles these ranges if he does the effect. That's what I'm gonna go out and say.
But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say maybe they don't want Catacross to be an auto include like he is right now. And
Well, that's weird because they made all the other centerpieces like have the mechanics of the army on their Warscroll. So like, why would they not want? All right, you're freaking me out. Let's keep going.
All right.
Like, why would they not want Catacross? Like, he's the centerpiece.
Well, I think he should be an option, just like I feel like Morathi should be an option. But you shouldn't always be, well, I've got to take Morathi. I've got to take Catacross. I've got to take...
Oh, but you don't think, like, from the Flesh Eater Court reveal, that Ossiarch is just like a slammer auto-include now in every list? You telling me that guy is not in every army?
He might be, and I don't love that. I don't think Lady O's an auto-include, for example, in Night Haunt.
No, but she's always been that weird Mortark of they don't know what to do with her. She's a Mortark, but like kind of a half Mortark. She's kind of a little bit of a Mortark.
She's good. It's just, and she's probably going to be way cheaper like she is now than other Mortarks, but it's just sort of like... Yeah. Okay.
I think she's great. Anyway, what do we... So,
okay, we've got charge phases now. You've got...
Add 1 to charge rolls.
Yeah. Nothing too flashy.
Okay, sure.
And then you've got anti-charge
Counter-Strike.
+1 rend if you get charged.
That's interesting. So this used to be what was Counter-Strike?
+1
What did they
wound.
used to get?
+1 wound,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
+1 wound. Yeah,
Now,
so +1 rend. It's not bad.
Now, what I like about the two of these, and they call this out, is that they're in any charge phase. Keep in mind, everybody gets a counter charge on a CP. So coordinated charge, you can actually get a plus to charge on a counter charge.
Yep.
And
Yeah, pretty good.
I gotta say, from if anyone has played an army that relies on the counter charge mechanic, there are sort of like a couple ways that counter charge mechanic goes down. Either you happen to get lucky and somebody kind of piles in, or not piles in, but moves their charge into your range of something that looks like it's off on the other side of the board almost, and you can try an 8 or 9 inch charge, or you try to set up the counter charge by tucking the counter charge unit behind the charging unit, in which case you're like, all right, this will be easy. I'll have like a 4-inch charge. And then you go to measure it, and it's like, oh wait, this is actually an 8-inch charge also, because I have to go around my whole unit. So getting a plus to a counter charge is actually a big deal, I think.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
These are both fine. Like, let's keep going.
The last two are combat phase.
Right. So any combat, add 1 to wound rolls, combat attacks made friendly. Okay, +1 to wound. Like, I think pluses to wound is pretty rare, so that feels good.
That's good. And the other one, good. Wholly within 12 inches of the hero, 5 upward.
Ooh. Okay.
All of these are really strong. These are all really good.
Yeah.
And the fun part for the Bonereaper player, I have to say, currently Bonereaper players can just basically willy-nilly put frickin' command points all over the place. Now you really are gonna have to think about, because you're only using one of these per phase, and I like the way that they tend to either be like offensive or defensive.
Yeah, I like this change. Now it almost feels like reactions in Heresy, where it's like you always get one, but you got to decide when you're going to use it. And now it's more of a kind of when you're going to use it. Because I don't think I've ever run out of command points in third edition since the book came out. I always have like 2 or 3 left over from my pool of like 11.
So yeah, that's it. That's what Bonereapers do. Right out of the gate. Steven, how you feeling on those?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew that something was going to give with the Relentless Discipline. I like that these are now just free abilities, and I also like that they have the restriction of a hero needs to be still within 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is good. I think these are good changes. I think these feel a bit more... There's definitely less save stacking and less rend stacking here, which is nice, because counter charge only works when you get charged, so I think they've been very good at balancing out the... You used to be able to just layer on these buffs where your unit would either become unkillable or would just slap for a million damage, and this feels like they've tempered that pretty heavily. But all these abilities are useful. I'll use all of these during a game, I imagine.
Yeah. Yes, I think so too. That they all look very useful, and you're using 3 a turn because it's all of them are any phase. I realize.
Yeah, you're using 3 in your turn. You're probably using 2 in your opponent's turn because you don't get the movement stuff. So you're using 5 a battle round, which I think, again, if you think about it, that's 5 extra command abilities that you're getting that your opponent isn't. I think that's fine.
I think so too. Okay.
Yeah.
Battle formations. They tell us about what's going on with all 4 of them, which is fun. But the one they show off is the Mortisan Council, +1 to cast for infantry wizards.
Right. Okay. Cool.
That's gonna be.
If I'm ever gonna take this or care about this, but okay.
You might when you see some of the spells they show off. You might.
Yeah, but you're forgetting that Archon is a thing, and Archon is ridiculous unless he's getting nerfed, which I doubt because he's a Mortarch.
Yeah, that's true. He's probably gonna
have still feel pretty powerful.
He's probably at least still gonna have a plus to cast, I imagine.
Yes, maybe a +1 though now, because I think they've reduced that across the board.
And he won't benefit from this because he's not going to be infantry.
Yeah, but no, this is cool. I like the little foot heroes. I think having them be a bit more a bit better would be fun. What are the other formations? Though?
Mortech, endless waves of Mortech Guard.
Yeah, okay, like that.
Cavalry.
Yeah, okay.
And here, get ready for it. Massed Mortech Crawler Artillery in 4 to 5 positions.
Get out of here.
Yep.
No one's taking massed Mortech Crawlers.
No, it's gonna be. No, it's good. Okay, well, guess what, Steven? The scroll.
Is it in here?
Yeah, they're showing it off.
Oh my god, I can't
Yes,
wait.
I know,
can't wait
I
to
know.
Trash this Warscroll.
Okay, this is what's so funny is like they went a really different direction on this preview with what they showed. So here's our first spell. We're gonna get to characters in a
Empowered
second.
Netherite.
Nadgerite, yeah, they still all Bone Reapers on their War Scroll. It's saying that Nadgerite weapons have critical 2 hits.
Okay, so they basically kept empowered. They basically kept Netherite blades as a mechanic.
And this
So that actually will
spell,
be on the weapon profiles now.
yeah, just like Nighthaunt.
Yeah.
And this spell does the same thing it does right now on a 5. Casting value 5.
Oh,
and,
but it's unlimited.
unlimited.
Now.
You can keep trying it.
Ooh. So you could. So well, no, it means you can have multiple casts of this.
Multiple casts, yeah.
You can give this to multiple units. That's pretty spicy, actually.
Yeah. This is why I think the plus the cast, and some of the other spells that are shown off. Okay, unit focus. We get Vork Mortian.
Oh, yep. Master of the Bone Tithe.
Master of the Bone Tithe. This guy has been a little bit of hot garbage. Not necessarily hot garbage, just no incentive to take him.
Yeah, I actually think his 3rd edition scroll was good. It's just no one took him because there was no room in the army for him.
Yeah.
But I always thought a 2-caster, 2-spell, 2-caster, and with the effects he had for the points he was, I always thought he was a pretty good deal. It's just he just couldn't fit him in the list.
I think these abilities have changed a little bit. So once per battle, he can make an enemy unit have to spend a CP to use one of their non-fight core abilities.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's to use any abilities like that this turn.
Right. Okay. That's
that sounds
that's
good. It sounds interesting. It sounds like it could be. I'm gonna say situationally, but I mean like I think the situation will always come up in a battle. You'll always find one good time to be like, okay, dude, you got to
cost one command point for the target to use. Yeah, I mean, this could be a bit of a gotcha. Like your opponents use their command points for the turn, then you're like, right, that unit can't do anything unless you've got a command point, which I know you don't have, so they don't get to do jack.
So
like, I think,
yeah, I feel like Steven, I don't know how you're feeling, but from what we've been told about command points, I sort of feel like many armies, many players who are going to play competitive games, and even players who just play casual games but get a lot of games in, you're going to learn what CP you want to spend. And it looks like there's not a lot of things that influence or affect CP in the game. Lady O, I think, lost her 5-up thing. So we're seeing these types of things kind of go away. And I'm thinking that if you can then say to a player who's got, their 5 CP for the battle round finally planned out, you say, okay, well, that now costs an ability. That person now has to say, okay, cool, I no longer have a redeploy next turn. I no longer have a counter charge or whatever it is. So, yeah, I think it could be useful. Then his spell, which happens on a 7, I don't know how similar this is to the current one. 18-inch range is nice also. It's a little different, I think, but it's the same kind of concept.
It used to be you put it on a unit and it lasts for the whole game. It was just like you cast it and it's done. Now it's until your next turn.
Yeah. Each time the bound friendly unit is picked to be the target of an ability used by the bound enemy unit, on a 2+, they're going to take D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's basic, and it happens first, which is kind of funny. So in the event that you can kill something, which I don't think you'd be worried about killing off like at that point at the end, but if they pick the fight, you roll, and if they die, they don't get the fight. Kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is funny on like wizards, little foot wizards, because you could. Kill a foot wizard.
I mean, everything is an ability in this game, right?
Yeah.
It's defined as everything is ability. So.
Well, the ability has to target.
Right, that's true. That's true. But
right, it's not anything.
But a charge ability, D3
Yep.
mortals. A fight ability, D3 mortals. Right away. So, it's kind of interesting. I think the problem with him currently, like you said, is that you just don't take him because the army lends itself to one kind of build, maybe 2, and he's not in either of them.
It's a shame because the model is dope, and he's still a 2-cast wizard.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I might just run him because that model is sick and I'm
Well,
sick of having it and not running it.
you're right. Every hero is one of the things I like about these hero centric or armies like Bone Reapers is that every hero is an option just because of that ability, right? You're kind of just
Yeah.
like, well, I want to max out on hero, so maybe he makes it in the list.
Yep, and he benefits from the +1 cast if you
Yep.
take that sub-faction, so, and he's got 2 spells, so yeah, I don't know, he could be good.
I think so. Okay, the Soul Mason.
Oh my god, we see 2 little dudes? Oh, it's the Bone Pope on his bone chair that isn't a mount.
He is infantry though, which is great.
Oh, he's infantry now, he's not cavalry, thank god.
He gets +1 from the sub faction.
Yeah.
Soul Guide gets, in my opinion, a pretty big glow up here. It's a fight first spell on a unit of yours.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
There's so many reasons this is insane. The biggest one being that it's not a fight last on an enemy, where it's got a short range and
Yeah, strike first is scary with Bone Reapers.
strike first, wholly within 12, nice and simple. 7 to cast, that's a little high, but if you
get
take
+1 with the faction.
which is kind of one of the reasons I'm curious. I mean, this is not unlimited.
Is he still a 2 cast?
He is still a 2 cast as well.
Yeah, I don't know. This is cool.
He's gonna.
I don't think he's quite. I don't think he's quite as much of the auto include as he was, because the chair would for some reason the chair would also cast spells for some unknown reason. So he would do 2, and then you might do 1 or 2 soul guides. So.
It was just reroll 1s, right?
No. In the new edition, it was they changed it because they got rid of rerolls. It was it's like +1 to hit or something. I forget.
Something. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Anyway. I don't know. I mean, this guy empowers non-strike weapons and passes out fight first. That's what we know for now.
Which is great. That's what you want him to be doing. This is cool. I like this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know. This guy's really hard to judge until we know the full lore that they get. Because he's such a all he does is cast. He does nothing else. So
he does nothing else.
So yeah.
Oh, it's +1 to wound currently, which is insane. On
guard, that's right. Yes,
only on Mortek guard and horses, though. Yeah.
Yeah, they changed it. I remember, but I mean that was crazy good.
It's any Bone Reapers unit now. I think I like this better. Strike first is so strong on,
And it's rare.
Yeah, and it is rare, and it's just real nice and easy. Within 12 inches, boom, strike first.
I mean, if this guy also can carry around his cartouche. His +1 to wound cartouche, then I'm like, yeah, he's probably still a bit of a slam dunk.
An artifact, yeah. And keep in mind, I think he's with his wound. Well, his health. What did it come down from 8? No, it's always been 6.
No, it's always had 6.
Okay.
All the other ones have 5. He has 6 because his chair's
in the
hefty.
chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Stalkers.
All right, what's next? Stalkers. All right.
Stalkers got hit, I think.
Oh no. Okay. Well, movement 6 is fine. Health is 4, which is fine, I guess. Save of 4 is what they always had. 4 attacks with the blades, 3s and 3s, Ren 2, damage 1, crit 2 hits. Yeah, okay.
Then they get the Stalker aspects, which are all pretty good, honestly. You've got -3 from control for enemy units.
Oh, that's interesting.
You're picking one of these, yeah. And Stalkers don't have good control. They're control 1. Which is conducive to what we've seen in the game where elite I clear the objective. Here come the Mortek guard. They take the objective, right? -1 to hit, also good. No ward rolls, also good. And then the last one is hero, rend against heroes.
Oh, these have been nerfed real hard.
There's no way.
Wow, this is savage. This is a savage nerf.
Your damage is not good anymore.
Whoa. Yeah, they've got no pluses to damage in any way, so they do 1 damage a pop. What? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Rip Stalkers. Jeez.
Yeah. Liam says hopefully they've been pointed, and I hope that he's right, because it actually kind of currently the only unit you guys really have that's kind of in between Mortek guard and holy shit, wreck your world is cavalry, and quite honestly, cavalry don't really do either of those things. So it would be nice for Bone Reapers to have an option of something that's like, Steven, I know you love Monstrous Infantry, and it does
I
feel
do.
weird to have Monstrous Infantry not doing 2 damage. It just feels kind of weird. Like, look at this thing.
Yeah.
Look how big this.
Yeah, this thing's like 12 foot tall,
Yeah, those swords
and
are.
it's got 4 arms.
Yeah, I agree, Tad. The swords do not look like 1 damage swords.
Yeah, this feels like, again, this is what I was afraid of. This is the paying for the sins of the past. These things were an absolute wrecking ball, and now they are like neutered.
I don't know about you guys, but I think I would have like wouldn't have batted an eye at this line. I would not have said anything about this stat line if it was rend 1 damage 2. I would have been like,
I agree.
I'd have been like this.
And then giving
okay.
them the extra rend for heroes, I'm like, okay, so they want to murder heroes, that's cool. And everything else they just murder a little bit. But like, man, yeah, this was the army's hammer, and like now, like these will even do more damage than the cavalry. Like the base cavalry will do more than these guys now on average, because they only have 4 attacks each. There's only 3 of them. Like
1 damage.
And the big swords just don't matter now. The big swords are just like, oh, I like Jimmy here brought swords that are 10 foot long. He does rend 2-1 damage with those things, and I do it the same with my little stabby knives.
Yeah. I am a little weirded out. I feel like rended damage should have been switched. And
yeah, and they're not even tanky. 4 wounds is not like, they're only 12 health for the unit, like with a 4-up save, and they don't have a way to buff the armor. Like, oh man, these guys have been brutally nerfed.
Now, the other thing about them is you can look at them and you can look at the army's ability. We've seen up until these guys, all we have seen is how to buff a unit from this army. We just saw all their abilities. We saw their 2 wizards who both buff. And I'm still kind of looking at all of that and saying, I don't know why you take these guys, unless
that damage 1 number is just
that's wild. Killer. That's wild. Unless you know they're 120 points for 3.
Yeah, but I don't really want to spam these things. Like, that's not like they're big models. They're quite painful to paint. They're quite.
I still don't know.
Quite complicated.
I still don't. Other than rule of cool, because like, what are they? The 3 things. So you have 3 of them, okay? Or let's say you have 6. You have 6 of them, and you've got control 6, and you can give -3 to the unit they go and try to hurt. So they're not clearing a 20-man squad. There's no more bravery.
No.
So they're
and
not.
Even if they were like 120 points from 3, that's still 240 for that unit. What is that 240 doing for your army? Like, nothing.
They're not picking up. They're not taking objectives solidly. If they had
compare this to the Croxigor scroll we saw.
Oh, Croxigors would.
Croxigors will wreck these things.
Croxigors are, pick their teeth with these guys' bones. It's not even close. So it's going to be a point. But that's kind of what I'm saying, though, is I feel like if, let's say, a Bone Reaper player doesn't want to take all Mortek Guard hordes, then let's see if but let's see if Stalkers are priced at 40 points a model. I don't think 30. That sounds too cheap. But if
Mortek Guard keep their 2 attacks, 3s and 4s, rend 1, damage 1, and 10 of them cost like about the same as 3 of these, you're taking the Mortek Guard 100%.
I think there'll be more. I think 10 Mortek Guard will be more than 3 Stalkers.
You think? I mean, based on this profile, they would have to be. Otherwise, what is happening?
I think so. I think it might. And listen, that's kind of my point, is that they might just be getting pivoted into a very bizarre role in the army where, quite frankly, they're like, we're not the elite shock infantry anymore. Maybe that's a Mortis Guard's role. Instead, Stalkers are kind of like, hey, we run out and we tag objectives, we put up a little bit of a fight. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of interesting, right? It is on the face of it, without any other information, it's a little sad.
Let me just read the description of these guys for you on the Games Workshop website.
It says it right here. It's right here. Towering constructs employed as line breakers.
No, yeah, but this is the new article, right? Listen to the 4-armed horrors that possess the gestalt essence of master duelists. Necropolis Stalkers leap and spin into battle with terrifying speed, switching stance and form in the blink of an eye as they dismember their foes. Does that Warscroll speak to that?
If their foes, listen, if their foes are
If their
Noblars,
foes are wheat.
if their foes are Noblars, then yeah, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I don't
We
know. That's a savage beating that scroll has taken.
So remains to be seen. Points are going to be the interesting component here.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think the three aspects are. I'm only super interested in -1 to hit, and which makes them a little more defensive. Ward rolls turning off is amazing. I just played. I play an army that does that. I love it, but sometimes you just don't need to do that, and that's
I mean,
okay.
I would not put these into a hero. Like, the hero will maul these things. Like,
Yeah,
but any hero worth their salt will brick these guys.
they'll beat
Like,
up a little wizard, but who won't, right? Like,
yeah, everyone beats up a little wizard.
yeah. Um,
All right, let's
so
move on. This is depressing. Let's move on to something
all
else.
right, all
God,
right,
I
all
need
right. Here we
something.
go. This is.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know if you're gonna love it, but it is here. The Mortec
Okay.
Crawler, a single attack now, 4 attacks, hit zone 4, wound zone 2, Ren 1, D3 plus 2 damage, anti-infantry, and critical 2 hits.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not
That's not
bad.
bad for an artillery piece.
It's not bad, and its ability is pretty fun. It's starting to get
Anti-infantry. So this is 2 rend. D3 plus 2. This will maul an infantry unit, especially with the crits. The crits making the hits explode. That's kind of scary. This could do.
This guy's not messing around. You give him +1 to hit. You give him all attack.
Yeah.
His ability, pretty interesting. Okay, add one. First of all, add 1 to the hit roll if he's wholly within 12 inches of an Ossa factor.
Wait, so
Okay.
how do we? So pick an enemy unit that was targeted by all of this unit's shooting attacks. Okay, so you have to. So you pick. This is post the attack, right? So you do the thing.
So pick an enemy unit that was targeted by all of this unit's shooting attacks this phase to be the target.
Yeah. Okay. So we've shot someone. Cool. Now we roll a dice. Add
Yeah.
1 if there's an Aussie factor nearby.
And add
And
another
add
one.
Any other friendly Mortec crawler. Oh no! Why are they doing this?
Yeah. On a 4+, that enemy unit you're flinging shit into is fight last. Now,
Okay, sure.
Now, this is both cool and not as cool for a couple reasons. So, what they're saying is, I kind of like what it can do. Here's what it can do: you can take a tough infantry unit, something that you're not going to kill in the shooting phase, and you can get that unit up to a 2-up roll after you shot 2 Mortec crawlers at it. You now on a 2-up have given that unit fight last. Now you send in 20 Mortec guard or I don't know, 24 stalkers, and and that unit has fight last, and now you give your new stalker Warscroll a chance to shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Um,
I don't know if I'm sending stalkers into elite infantry
alright.
anymore. Even if they have got strike last, I still think they get killed.
But the point is, it does. You have this way. The army has like this kind of interesting board wide way to look in on a target and say, I need to get rid of this turn.
Yeah, I like this. I think this is really good utility for the army. And that attack is no slouch. I think against actual like regular infantry, that's gonna do a lot of damage. Like that's gonna mess some units up. 2s to wound, like that's scary.
Go get some kind of new Stormcast 3-up unit that or 10-man chosen squad, Slaves to Darkness.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're gonna look like in the new edition yet, but of course they're gonna be good. They're well armored.
D3 plus 2 is I like that it's it's not the flat 5 it used to be on its attack, but it's got it can have 2 Ren now, and D3 plus 2 is still pretty solid. Like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
Here's how many points this ends up being.
Yeah, that's it again, right? If this thing is honestly, it's good, it's cute, I like it, but if it's over 220, I don't see it showing up.
This for me, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this telegraphs to me that we are getting a second wave with archers and some other units at some point in this edition. Because this for me says they want to do like a siege castle kind of like turtley army that sort of sits back and shoots you a bit and then runs in to finish you off. You can't do that right now. This is the only shooting army in the entire book. Yeah, so I'm like, they must be getting. For me, like this is the edition they get their second wave and they flesh out the to make the army have more varied playstyles. Because yeah, now I'm like, okay, they want you to do this shooting attack. This is cool. no one's taking 2 catapults in a current build because it's the only kind of ranged output you have, and it doesn't really gel with whatever else is going on.
No, but every Bone Reaper player has 2 catapults.
Yep.
They've been coming in boxes.
Yeah, I think I have 2 somewhere. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
That's not bad.
That's it. That's what we get.
Oh, that's it. Okay, interesting.
They wanted Bone Reapers to feel like you're playing with an elite, disciplined army. There's not a lot of brilliant insight from the studio on this one. For the Spearhead Spotlight, we get to see a Death Rider scroll. And it looks pretty similar to what they've got right now. 3 attacks, 3's to hit, 4's to wound, +1 damage on the charge of N1.
The +1 charge damage is nice. They don't have that before.
Oh, they do?
That's
Okay.
Nice.
We're seeing that.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
That seems to be almost universally like a cavalry thing these days.
Yep. Yeah, that's a solid scroll. Again, like they will do way more damage than Stalkers ever will now, which is depressing.
I think the Death Rider Wedge ability is also. If I had to guess, I would guess that this is what we'll see. I know this is Spearhead, but I don't think this is going to change out of Spearhead.
Yeah, it's just their classic. It's just their classic charge thing, right?
Yeah, nothing. Kind of this. Yeah, they can cross across infantry as if they had fly.
Yep.
And they could do D3 mortals on a 2-up on the charge.
The lack of 6-inch piling, I wonder if they'll get that back on the main scroll when they get the more complexity scroll. Because we kind of saw that with the flying guys for Stormcast. They kind of had the extra rule. I could see them getting their extra piling.
Steven, how are you feeling? Now that you've seen the whole thing, you've seen all of the preview, you completely know how this book works in 4th edition now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Are you the poll is while we have camps forming for sure. Half of people are 35% in combat range and 35% anywhere on the board, and then we've got some people in the middle. I myself already voted. I voted that I'm wholly within 6 inches. And I think
I don't know. I started as board wide, now I'm maybe like 3 inches, maybe.
Oh, you're combat range now.
I'm definitely softer now, that's for sure.
Are you? Yeah. How are you feeling?
I mean, it's hard to tell because we've seen 2 little foot dorks and we've seen Catapult and the Stalkers, right? It's tricky to tell, but like the Stalker nerf is undeniable. Like they have been absolutely beaten to the ground. If the Immortis Guard go the same way, I don't know. I don't know, man. That's some bad times.
I see Immortis Guard stat line not changing. So their stat line, they're gonna hit on 3s and wound on 4s, and there will no longer be as many ways to get them up as high as they can, and they probably are going to have. My guess is they're going to have something like the Stalkers have. But it's going to be 2 choices. It's going to be a.
Well, no, because they don't have the different heads. They have just one. They're a completely different.
I know, but they'll have some kind of shields down, do something with our save, and they'll have some kind of stabbing, go stab thing, right? That's my guess. I would say they're more likely to have like they kind of have that now, don't they? They can either be defensive or a little more offensive. What do they have now?
They just have the rule where they can fight twice, and they can. Well, they have offensive, defensive, and you can pass wounds to them as bodyguards, and you can pass wounds to them from heroes.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking Mortech Guard. Mortech
Guard just have their shield wall ability.
Right, but they can't. They can either use that or do something else, right? Or only one of them can use it.
Well, no, it's just a command ability on their scroll.
So only
they
one
can either so you can either all-out attack or bludgeon with them, or you can use their shield ability.
That's it. My guess is that's going to get rolled into an ability that's like they can either be defensive or offensive.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a theme for the army. I mean, honestly, that is a theme for this army. That's kind of how Relentless Discipline works. You're either 5-up ward, and so you're going to be able to. I mean, that is worth pointing out with these Stalkers, right? You can make Stalkers -1 to hit with a 5-up ward. So you can.
Yeah, but they've only got 4 wounds each. Like, what are they? They're not. I don't understand this roll that you think they have if they have those buffs. They only have 4 wounds each on a 4-up save. Like they aren't Blight Kings.
No,
they don't have control.
Well,
so they're not meant to be sturdy guys that hold a point, and they're not meant to kill anything.
Steven, Blight Kings 3 wounds now.
Right, but they get way more control when they're on their own points.
Yeah, that's true. Well, these guys can subtract control if they don't minus wound or minus hit rolls.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
This scroll feels like it was written by 4 different people at 4 different points in time. Like the quadric aspect, like they just went all in on the theme while writing this because it feels like this. I don't even know what direction this is pulling. No direction. This is a bad war scroll.
I think it's a highly confused Warscroll, at least. Which
I think
guess
like
makes it bad.
compared to like the old one, which okay, it was very very good. The old war scroll, like the current one, is very very good. I'm like, I wouldn't take these over Multi Guard or Cavalry ever.
Yeah.
Like why? What
Well,
do
you
they do?
you see the new Cavalry War Scroll. Presumably, it's not going to change much from Spearhead, and it's
No.
immediately better than this.
Oh yeah, it's way better than this.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
And yeah, the buff, the catapult getting like, I don't even say it's a buff. I think they've just repurposed it to make it work. I just think it was completely nonsensical in 3rd edition. I like that they've consolidated it and made it cleaner and easier to use, and it actually will do damage. But again, I think it's confusing based on how the army plays, and I'm curious to see what else the book does.
I'll tell you guys one thing: if these Stalker swords are 1 damage, I don't know how many damage you think that halberd from the Mortis Guard is going to be. But
yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's and like I'm sad we didn't get Catacrosis scroll, honestly.
Yeah, a little weird, right?
Yeah, like they showed off Oshiran and he changed a lot. I'm surprised they didn't show Catacross. I'm also very curious if they fit his entire war scroll on a single thing because he has a lot of rules.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon they probably consolidated his retinue down to like 1 or 2 abilities or something. I imagine is probably where they go with it. I hope he keeps his I only get off my rock if there's a hero to kill. I really like that rule. I think it's really fun.
I
hope
it
they
too.
keep that.
I like it too.
It's really flavorful. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely kind of curious now to see the rest. But I think the Relentless Discipline stuff is exactly what I kind of expected to happen, to get consolidated and simplified and streamlined. So that doesn't surprise me. The nerf to the Stalkers is shocking.
It's the I mean, if the Stalker nerf's not there, you guys are. My guess is you guys are mostly at least wholly within 6.
Yeah, because like the
which is
foot
kind of my
heroes
guess
are like
in general,
whatever.
but
yeah, like the foot heroes are like, until we see the lore, it's kind of hard to judge them. I like that Empowered Netherite Blades is now unlimited. That's pretty awesome.
That's cool.
But yeah.
Okay. So first of all, how cool is this paint job on this Spearhead Force?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love this paint job. Yeah, I love the black and the white.
Black, white, orange.
The orange weapons. Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Super cool.
I love how he's done the Soul Reaper guy, like the middle dude. He looks amazing.
Yeah. I'm excited. Monday is Daughters of Cain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll see if. I wonder if they'll do preview Marathi.
I know my world is shook. I assumed that they would have because of that.
It's the only scroll in the book, right? The book is, does Marathi still pop, or is she not popping anymore? And,
yeah.
who else cares?
She's not the only named character anymore. We've got Cthulhu, so they could show her.
True.
They've been mostly showing a named character. They even went out of their way to show Kragnos when they showed Ogres, since Ogres have no named character. So I'm guessing we'll either get Cthulhu or Marathi. So much could change with Marathi. I don't even know. So I'm very excited. I've really recently been enjoying that playstyle with like Nighthaunt and Daughters, where I've had these huge blocks of.
You like Horde armies, don't you? You're a Horde army player.
I do kind of like that Horde army vibe. I'm digging that. Yeah.
You like rolling 60 plus attack dice in a combat.
Definitely.
You like to be in that space.
I do. Okay, cool. Well, Stephen, thanks for joining us. And sorry you'll be returning to work with a confused feeling for your favorite faction.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. I'm walking away from this. I knew they were going to get hit. I just didn't know how, and I knew that they would address internal balance, and it looks like that's happening. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, my plan was always to kind of reshift my focus to Stormcast at the start of the new edition because they'll get their book early, and I really like the new model. So my plan, and Indrasta needs to get on the table and murder monsters. So I always kind of plan to switch to Stormcast and put the Bonereapers on the back burner for a little bit. This preview has done nothing to dissuade me from that path.
Well, you have a very elite, fairly elite build on this army, and kind of tight. You're right. You're pretty close to around 2,000, 2,500 points, I think. Fully painted.
Well, I mean, I have the
anyway.
whole range. I have the whole range in various stages, so like I can build whatever. I have the last thing I was working on was the Morgas you gave me.
Oh,
so
right.
I have 4 of the Morgas, so maybe they'll still be really good, and maybe they'll get fielded.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, Steven. We'll see you.
Yeah, all good.
Everybody else, just a reminder that we have our normal schedule. Tomorrow we will be playing an AOS game. Our mod Vino, who was in here briefly earlier today, will be joining us, and he's going to be playing his Khorne against my Quicksilver Dad. We played this as a test game the day before Small Town Throwdown, and Vino absolutely wrecked me. I then went on to do pretty well with the list, thanks a lot, honestly, to some of the lessons I learned from my game with Vino. So we're going to have a little bit of a rematch. We'll see, do Khorne just wreck Quicksilver Dad, or can I learn from my mistakes? And then Sunday, our hobby stream, as usual, at 10 in the morning. We'll see you guys then. And also, next Monday, we'll be back here at 9 a.m. For Daughters of Cain, which I'm super excited about. Okay, everybody, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.